Welcome to tonight's session. Like I said, this night we are going to look at all the activities that we need to understand or we need to undertake within a project management, within all the life cycle, and who is going to take them. Is it a project manager? Is it a business analyst? So let's look at that. And once we get that streamlined, then we can continue from where we stopped and be breaking them down one after the other. So let me get to the document we need to look at. So, can you see my screen yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay.
So we can see it now.
All right.
So please, can you zoom it a little bit for us?
All right. Is it better now?
Yes, sir. It's better.
Okay, guys. Um, Please, I'm not attending to any question now, so you better bring your, what is it? Is it about you are not seeing the screen or what? Babatunde, Jacqueline, why are you raising your hand?
Good evening, Mr. Charles. And good evening, mates.
Yeah.
I had a network glitches the last class we had, so I couldn't participate well. But I took the opportunity of the lecture video on the Potter. So while going through that, while I quite appreciate your method of teaching, because those concepts were dissected with how would I put it now? Practical perspective. So while going through the lecture video, particularly the stakeholder analysis, so something came to mind, and I felt I should ask. So I wouldn't know if I should ask because it's regard with as regards the last class we had. I don't know if I can ask the question.
So why have you not asked that question behind this class? When are you bringing it to disrupt the current class? While you have all the time to ask it in the platform or even contact me directly? Well, you can ask the question. I don't want to
I
like
thought you wouldn't
going
attend.
forward. I don't like when I start presenting because this class is recorded. You are already disrupting the class. Somebody that is going to watch this video is now trying to listen to what were happening in stakeholder analysis, while this is another topic. Before even I start this, you should have asked this question before I start presenting, because this particular video now is not going to be professional when any other person is going to look at it. Are you
Perhaps
getting my point?
I'm sorry, perhaps I skip it then to the other time.
I will try to, let me see if I can pause it, but I don't like, because it's not professional.
Sorry about that.
Or you can write your question down when we finish during the question time, you can bring it on.
Okay.
So that when people are trying, we are trying to start an important topic, and now we are starting important topic, we are now going back to the last. It's not going to look good for me.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. What we are going to do tonight is we're not going to look at any particular deliverable. I just try, because of a lot of questions I'm still flying up. I want to streamline things so that you know what you are facing, what you are going to be facing as a project manager, or what you are going to be facing in a project. So that is why I came up with this document. You know, you see here, this is project activity sequence document. In project management, there is nothing like called project activity sequence document. I produce this document because I feel there is need for them, for us to have it. You know, most of the deliverable, most of the other things we are doing, somebody one day produce them because the person feels that it's necessary, and all of us are using it. Well, why I come up with this, because I feel is why I'm telling you this, because don't go anywhere and start telling them, this company, do you have project activity sequence documents? They'll start looking at you. What are you talking about? There's nothing like project activity. I created this and I crafted this name. So it's just to help us understand what is involved. You know, so this is this phase is within the project life cycle. I want us to start understanding all the activities involved. If you're looking at here, let's go down to the bottom here. We see we have up to 39 activities in project management. Some people do not observe all these 39 activities. Some people will choose the one they want to do. Some organizations, you might find out they don't do some of this, but most of these documentation or activities here, all of them are being carried out in one way or the other in project management. So if any of them, well, I'll try to capture as many as this, because I don't want a situation you say you never heard about this particular activity. Just have so many of them here. And so many of them here are things that will be done by the project manager or things that will be done by the business analyst. So, and it's important you know this. After this, I will
We didn't see it.
At this point, when we are starting this class, I respect people. I give guideline. I beg you not to do, but as we are progressing, where I feel that everybody should be matured. If you disturb the class, I'm not even going to call you. I'll press a button and you have to go and queue up, trying to join again. So, in this sequence, immediately after this, I'm going to upload it so that everybody will have a copy of this. This is all the activities. And this is what for project manager, you can see here we have 3 sheets here. Here's the general activity, project activities. And this is for PMs alone. For project managers, this is another sheet. And this another sheet is for business analysts alone. So let's look at activities 1. Here we have project brief, and then we've done project brief. I will have identify stakeholders, and we've done the stakeholder analysis. These are things and who is doing it. You see here, project brief. Some companies you might meet, they might come in another way. Some will start with a project charter, some will start with project brief, some will start, it depends on what. Let's understand it. For me, project brief should come first, and then you need to then identify your stakeholders. Look for your stakeholders and identify them, and then you conduct a stakeholder analysis. These are some of the things we've done, and then you develop a project charter. When you have seen your stakeholders and understand your stakeholders, for me, it's your duty as a project manager to make sure there is a project charter. It's not even the duty of anybody to have a project charter, because whether project charter or no project charter, the project sponsor is not bothered about whether there is a project charter. The project sponsor wants the projects to be delivered as soon as possible and make sure that all the benefits. But if for you, this authorization is more important to you as a project manager, it gives you the power. If you do not have it, you do not have the power. More like now somebody appointed you as, let me say, a local government chairman, appointed local government chairman without election. You know what it means? So it means you are just there. You can be removed anytime. But when you have election, you have certificate of return. This is more like a certificate of return given to a project manager to lead. When you have certificate of return, even if a governor wants to remove you, they must have a thorough meeting. They must, because it's not going to be easy for them to remove you because you have the authority. So this is it. So that is their duty to make sure that this is done. And once we have project charter, other things follow. So if you're a business analyst within the project, you have to start gathering requirements, documenting requirements, conducting requirement analysis, developing business case, and this will help to understand what needs to be done. And once we have a project business case, there should be a work breakdown structure, because this business case decide what needs to be done and justify that the project need to be done, the benefits, and the approval signifies that equally, because having a project charter does not, although so many projects, some people might not have, you see them, they don't have business case. They have project charter and they jump in within the work breakdown structure. But in so many cases, business case comes with a lot of requirements, deciding the benefit, the cost, return on investment for the project. And then we'll have work breakdown structure. Once we have work breakdown structure, you can see that this is not activity from here, from number 5 to number 8 within that project is what the business analyst will be doing. While the business analyst is doing this, the project manager is equally might jump in and start doing his own, which is work breakdown structure, you know. But why creating it in a sequence like this is some of this might start happening before others, or some of them I can go concurrently with two of these active, like a project manager can be doing this and a business analyst can be doing this. You see, these are two people, and you can see the one the project managers need to do together with business analysts, even like stakeholder analysis, identifying stakeholders, and everybody needs to understand the stakeholder. So, and then we have project plan. Once there is good work breakdown structure, like I said, work breakdown structure is a blueprint for the project manager to start creating the project plan. And once a project plan is created, part of the project plan, you start defining project schedule, Gantt chart, critical path method, which we are coming down to it. I think after this, tomorrow we are going to be jumping into project plan. So, and with that, you start establishing budgets, identifying and assessing risk, developing quality management plan, developing communication plan, developing procurement plan, developing racing metrics, define project team structure, assigning roles and responsibilities, identifying and documenting stakeholders' expectation, and then kick-off meeting to bring other team members like developers, or depending on the kind of project you are on. All these are within the planning and organizing. Some of these documents you see here, planning. These are some of the documents that you might want to keep in the archive. These are some of the documents, might be some of the projects you have to go, or higher authority might want to look at this document. You have to do it. Some documents here, like racing metrics, having a racing metrics will help you to understand the rules. Everybody to understand the rules. It's going to help, but like it's going to be difficult. I hardly see maybe a senior project manager or a project sponsor or a program manager telling you, a project manager, to bring your REC metrics for them to see. So, but it's quite important that you, a project manager, this need to be done, because it will help the team members to understand their rules and responsibilities, to avoid confusion within the project. You know, define team structure, which is still within the rules and responsibility, and assigning these rules and responsibilities, telling somebody you have to do this and do that, you can assign that. There is no like assigning rules and responsibilities. Yes, you can, it's going to be part of the project plan. But once the project is, before the project execution, you can only assign that if you have a platform like Asana or Basecamp or Freecamp. From there, you can assign. So there might be no personal documentation on to see assign roles and responsibilities, but it's something that is done. So that's why this is something we're capturing again. So that is why I have to put it on organizing. Then identifying and documenting expectation. This is equally within the stakeholder. You've already created stakeholder analysis. So stakeholder document and analysis, this should go into the it's part of the ongoing activity within stakeholder management. And this is equally done by not only PM as well. And then kickoff meeting. Once all this planning and organizing is done, during the execution kickoff meeting is now when the project starts fully. That's when we start bringing other team members. If you are in a construction industry or you are building a house, it's time you start bringing in bricklayers, they start laying foundation. If you are kind of building a web application or any kind of application software, it's time for you to start bringing in developers, designers, other people to work with. But at the earlier stage, you might find yourself alone working with projects, with business analysts and the project manager, or working with HR, which might be trying to understand who and who need to be recruited, or who is not your duty as a project manager to do recruitment. You know, if you need people, all you need to do is to contact HR. Well, it depends on where you are working. But that's why you can see here assigning roles and responsibilities, and you see here defining team structure. So you must have to work with HR to define team structure, whom and whom need to be there. At this point, we are experienced project managers. Some of the HR people might not be experienced to know exactly what you want. But when you have a meeting with them, you might define the teams for who and who is coming in, even if they don't have a. So it's time for you to make a provision to bring in kind of people you want. So, and once we have a kickoff meeting, it means the project started. And so task assignment and scheduling, resource allocation and mobilization, progress tracking and monitoring. These are all the activities what need to be done by one person or the other. As you can see, the owners here, who are IT, project managers, quality control and assurance. You see QA, quality assurance officer, and we'll see risk management and mitigation, and we'll see communication and stakeholder engagement is an ongoing, continue to happen. You see procurement and contact management. You see project track progress, identify and address deviation. You see take corrective actions, project status reports, manage changes and issues, formalize lesson learned, and project document closure, evaluate project success, obtain final acceptance, release resources, celebrate completion. And then here we'll capture some legend here. You know, PM here is project manager, and these are like quality assurance, communication managers, procurement managers, and human resources managers. So these are a lot of people that might be involved. I didn't want to capture like developers or this, but they are still part of the ongoing activities. They are most of the people doing the execution. So this will help us to understand what needs to be done. Some of these might not need a particular document to do it.
Guys, please off your mic, mute your mic. We are serious. Please.
I think Imokoro should be removed.
Emma, off your mic, please. Yeah. Off your mic.
All right. So trying to make this simpler for us, we have to separate this. At this point, we're looking at project management, mainly what a project manager needs to documentation from project managers or activities solely for project managers. So this is for PM, and you see here PMP, everything here PM needs to do it. So once you have defined get the project brief, identify stakeholders, and do stakeholder analysis, then here we have develop project charter, and then create work breakdown structure and project plan, and then define schedule. This define schedule, establish budget, and you do this inside the project plan. You capture them within. You see, once we set up a project plan, then other things will follow, like within project plan, you define schedule, you establish budget, allocate budget, and identify risk. At this point, you have what we call RAID log or risk register. We'll start capturing our risk. Develop quality management plan. You need to assess, what we call quality management plan or acceptance criteria to make sure that what they are doing is within the quality standard. There must you do that. Like for instance, I've seen those in a construction industry or building. Before you can mold a block, that block needs to be tested. The amount of sand and the mixture need to be tested to make sure that it meets the standard before you can. Anything or even missing concrete, they must test it before you can. So this is it. Is we have a way to develop within every in software development. We call it acceptance criteria. Whatever you are doing must meet some quality plan. So develop communication plan is ongoing. Once you do a stakeholder analysis, this is part of what you do, but you have to continue to maintain it. Develop risk metrics is very, very important. Risk metrics is important for you to understand the rules. If you don't have it, at times some might not understand what they are meant to do, or you see a lot of overzealous team members leaving their own role and go and start doing another person's role. So it's very good to have risk metrics and team structure and assign rules and responsibilities. These are what I've already, some of them I've captured them in the other document or the other sheet. So going resource allocation, progress tracking, risk management and mitigation, communication and engagement, procurement and the contract management. Like I said, that some of these things, like sorry guys, my laptop nearly, so I have to quickly plug it. Okay. Like I said, some of this documentation, like procurement and contract, some people might not capture this in their own projects, but procurement is very important. Track project progress, identify and address deviation, take corrective actions, report project status, manage changes and issues, and lesson learned is very important. Lesson learned is something that needs to be done as a status meeting to capture, although in so many cases, if I joined lesson learned reports with read log where I address risk, and then document project closure, evaluate success, final acceptance, release, and completion. And then this is the legend, where initiation means define project scope and objective planning, develop plan, schedule budget, organization, define team structure, rules, responsibility, execution, manage project, progress, risk, communication, monitoring, track, progress, identify issue, take corrective action, and closure. So these are some of the key things within this or description of each of these phases. So this will give you a good visibility of what needs to be done. So we're going, as we're continuing, trying to understand our template, our techniques we use. Like you see, project charter, we've kind of try to understand how to create a project charter. In work breakdown structure, we try to understand how to create a work breakdown structure. So the next is to try to create a project plan. That is going to be the next thing, what we are going to be doing. So I think it's necessary to have a good picture of what is coming up and using this document and know who is responsible for doing who. So like I said, this, you can go to organization, another organization, they'll be doing it this way or the other way. But one thing I know is that even if they are doing it upside down in the organization where you might find yourself, they must capture all these activities. Even if they are not calling it project brief, they must do it. Some people here, they might not call it project brief, they'll call it project mandate. Let me just mandate. Project brief or project mandate. So they are the same thing. So this is things we need to understand. Once we get this to understand very well, then it's a very good and a big plus for us. And the other sheet here is a business analyst. You see here elicitation after stakeholder analysis, elicitation, document requirements, analyze requirement, develop business case, develop requirement management plan, create use cases, data flow, feasibility study, documents, identify document stakeholder expectation, support development of racing metrics, support development of project schedule, they are supporting project manager, support development of budget, conduct requirement verification, conduct requirement validation, identify and document lesson learned, evaluate project success, document business progress change, final acceptance, implement, post-implementation review. So you see, they are on their own. These are what, in some cases, they have to support project managing. Final, some are like this racing metric. The stakeholder will be doing it, but project business analysts will be supporting as well. So that is how it is. I hope this will help to clear some confusion some of us are having. They don't even know where this. So some ask, is this the same thing with this? Most of the things were somebody asked before is project brief the same thing with project charter? Of course, if we have a document like this, I don't see how somebody will be asking if project brief, we did it differently. We didn't say that project, so we've captured them as different activity. We talk about them as different activity. So with this, I will not be expecting this kind of question again, while you've seen that this is formally within project charter. Yes, we captured scope, objective, we capture it, but the main purpose is not to capture scope. It's part of the items in the project charter, all these project scope, project objective, and other things. But the main purpose is to formalize authorization. That is the main purpose here. Every other thing that happens within there, good. But the main purpose of project charter is to give the project manager power. So that is what we plan to do tonight, because if you don't have a good foundation, I'm still trying to make sure we have a consolidated foundation. If we have a good foundation, we can then, but if you don't have a good foundation, we might find it difficult to accelerate. So that's it for today. So if you have any question, then you can ask your question. Okay. I will give Babatunde opportunity to talk about what you wanted to talk before I start capturing other questions.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. So, what came to mind, what I was talking about the other time, is if at the inception of a project, one of the deliverables is to erect a structure or a building, and those of us who are familiar with Lagos will be familiar with what we call Omonile in Lagos. at every stage of your structure of your building, they will come around to, harass you or collect money or something at every stage. I don't know if this is obtainable in other states, but now should it capture Omonile as a stakeholder, or we should see Omonile as one of the do I put it? Yeah, a risk. That's
Yeah, excuse me, please. Somebody, I'm going to remove you. I can see some of us find it difficult to be principled. Somebody is talking and you don't think what the person is talking is important, and you'll be just making noise, because for me, you are displaying irresponsibility. You are just showing us how irresponsible you are. And very soon you say people are insulting you, people are talking down on you, and you are going to be the person to make people to talk down on you anyhow. Why do you see somebody is making a point, just to put yourself on mute, you refuse? Somebody will just shout on you, you start taking offense. Please, you can continue with what you are saying.
all right, sir. So what I was trying to say is this. For instance, you have a project, and one of the deliverable of the project is to erect a structure, a building.
I've captured you very well on that. I don't know if there's any other. You say Omoline, that is not an English word. Me, I'm not. That is a Yoruba word.
Yes, all these land grabbers.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. In project management, there's what we call when we're talking about, if you go to the stakeholder, when I was trying to group stakeholders, I said we'll have organizational stakeholders, and then we'll have project stakeholders, and we'll say that stakeholders are people that have vested interests in one way or the other. Some of these people are stakeholders, because they have interest in that project. Okay. If they don't have vested interest in that project, they are not coming around. Why are they coming? Because they have interest. You see customers, like when you are building a real estate, you see some people looking for house to rent. They come to look for a building where you are building. You start harassing them. What are you doing here? They tell you, we are looking for a house to rent. You say this house is not completed. What? Yes, but they are coming there because they have interest. These are potential customers who might want to rent that house when that house is finished. At this point, if they need information, you can give them information. This house will be ready so time. You can check back when it's finished to know if they are renting or not. These are potential users. They are customers. They did not have any money to put there. They did not give you any money. You are not going to, but they are customers. In such people, when we're talking, I said that there are some people you need to, consider and give them, inform them, give them information about that project. That information will help them. Although they don't have power and they don't have power, but they have interest. Such people as Omoline or land grabbers, they are everywhere. There are some of them who are what we call pressure group. If you go to all these Niger deltas, you need to settle them. Are you now saying, are you now trying to tell me that oil rig, all these oil companies, Why are they settling them? Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes.
These people have what we call they are nuisance. They have nuisance value. And that their nuisance value will derail your project. They have power, but they don't have interest. They have that nuisance value is high. They can come there and start shooting. All you need to do is find a way to settle them. Government know that these people do exist. Why do government keep settling all these people in Niger Delta? If you don't settle them, they will go start vandalizing pipeline. They've made themselves stakeholders. You know, they are not bringing any money. They are not a government official, but they've claimed that this is their land and they want to be settled. And these people, if you call police for them, you find out that you are not making any headway.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to capture them. These people, there's something they are looking for. Give them what they want. And if you are a project manager, the person that owns the house you are building knows that they are there. So you have to tell your project sponsor to make provision for them. If you are an experienced project manager within that terrain or within that environment, if you are a building contractor building in Lagos for years, you know that these people exist. And over time, looking at historical information, they have been coming and they have been settling them. So why do you think your own will be different? So you find a way to settle them. What they are going to be demanding is not something most of the time that cannot be done. So you have another question?
Yes, I have another question. Is as regard the topic you have just dealt with. Business case, which is captured under the planning, which defines is the project, the cost benefit analysis, and probably defines the ROI, the return on investment. So if after having done that, it is discovered that the project is not viable, can the proposed the proposed project be aborted? Then that leads to my second question, which I will say, shouldn't that activity that come earlier than when it appears on the plan, on the planning stage, if the project is found not viable, because the business case as it is written, as it was explained by you, it defines the project, the cost benefit, and the ROI. So if after doing that, it is found not viable, what do we do at that point?
In so many projects, you find out, that's why I said in companies, they can start from the top, they can anywhere they find it. In so many of the projects, you will do business case. In that case, we might have business analysts that have been there for the companies, working for the companies. They've been doing their business analysis on their own without even a project manager. They don't need intervention. So it's whenever they decide that is a project, or whenever their business case has been approved, that's when we even start looking for project managers. In some cases, they start a project and say there's going to be a project, and within that project, they start doing the analysis, trying to resolve. In some cases, the business, the cost benefit, the business case is trying to provide different solutions. Because that, in some cases, the management have made up their mind that they are going to implement or they are going to go on this project, but they don't have any defined solution. So the business case here need to provide different solution for the organization to pick one from. Your business case cannot come up with one solution. You have to make sure that you have up to 4 solutions. Alternative A, you cannot, there's no way a serious organization that want to implement a project and who truly rely on you as a business case will turn down 4 solutions down. It means they do not believe in you as a business analyst. But if they really believe in you, they must choose one of your solutions because they really want to, they made up their mind that that project is going on. So that is it. In so many cases, that is how the business case is structured. We are there to provide kind of visibility studies and making sure that the project is viable by providing different solutions. And then government, for instance, if you want to implement a CRM system, or the organization is having a CRM issue within their sales and marketing, they want to streamline the activity within sales and marketing. They might decide to work on the existing structure. They might decide to implement a CRM system. When implementing a CRM system, you have countless of CRM systems in the market. You have to make sure that the CRM system you are bringing in is within the budget, is within the capacity of the organization, and it can solve the problem, and is within the timeline they want it to be implemented. So there's a lot to look at when we talk about business case, what it can do and what it cannot do. So, but we are not yet in business analysis. So I don't want us to go and start talking about business analysis in project management because some people will get confused. You know, so many of you do not know what business case we are talking about here. But I just listed what needs to be identified, not to discuss about any of them. But when it's time to discuss about any of them, we'll talk about it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Elizabeth Eze.
Hello, sir. Something about what's it called, the the RACI chat being done by a stakeholder and supported by business analysts. Which stakeholder are you referring to? Is it the project manager?
RACI metrics.
Yes.
Done by stakeholders.
That's what you said.
RACI metrics is done by project manager.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure because I wanted to ask that question. Maybe you said it, but I remember you said don't talk while I'm teaching. Thanks.
Okay. RACI metrics. Can you see RACI metrics here?
It's not showing on your system. It's your face that I'm seeing.
Okay. I will. Let me share it now. Let me see if some of us are seeing different things.
I can see it now.
Can you see my?
Yes, please.
Can you guys see item 13?
Yes. Develop matrix.
So
yes.
Where do we say stakeholder here?
I'm saying when you said it, when you were talking.
I didn't say
project manager. Maybe you mistakenly said it, sir, but I heard you say stakeholder. I wanted to call your attention to it, but I remembered you said.
I said RACI metrics can be, I said business analysts can support. I didn't say, and you can see here is clearly, there's never I said racing metrics. To develop racing metrics is here clearly PM. And again, when we get to, let's go to, I think there is racing metrics here as well. This is for business analysts. And equally say here, this is business analyst document and support development of racing metrics. This is business analyst. I say this is for, if you scroll up here, you see project activity sequence document for BAs. And if you come down here, I said the racing metrics here, the business analyst support development of racing metrics. And if you come to project manager, you say project manager develop. So BA support in development of racing metrics. I don't think I said that. If any of you hear that, did any other person hear or sees any other thing outside of this?
No, you didn't say that. I didn't get that. You just said racing metrics by the BA.
I won't argue. When you guys listen to the video, you probably hear it, but I know what I heard. Thank you, sir, for the clarification.
Okay. Mustafa Ahmed. Yeah, Mustafa, I think you have an issue with your mic because I remember last time this thing happened. Yeah, well, you said if you can go, let's see if you can pick something for what you are trying. Yeah, you can go on.
So I have two questions. It's concerning the stakeholders analysis. I'm saying temperature sense, infinity.
Okay. Mustafa, I think I think we have an issue with your mic, and you have to try to fix it. Is not a network. I can see not a network, or you can reach me personally to talk about it. Is that okay? Hello, Mustafa. Okay, we can see we are struggling to capture Mustafa's input. And when you have issues like this, please, it's serious. You try to control yourself. I don't want to see such laughing emojis. Ozioma Precious.
Good evening, Mr. Charles,
Good
and
evening.
everybody. I didn't really join from the beginning, so I just want to find out this template now. Is it like a guide for a project manager while carrying out a project, or something that a project manager will also present to maybe the stakeholders and the sponsors? I just want to get it, please.
Well, because he didn't join early, let's just, because maybe his timeline changes. When we were starting, we said it's going to give us a good guide. It's going to help us to have a good foundation. I equally say that this document do not exist anywhere. I say that I created this document to help us have good foundation. I didn't say you are going to be using this document to, is for personal use.
Okay.
So it's a personal use document. It's just to help you have good visibility of what a lot of things, activities, a stakeholder, a project manager need to do in a project, and other project team members as well, key team members. So I not for personal consumption, but I feel that it's necessary at this point to give you guys this foundation. I hope this is what I said. So if you are going to
All right.
that, if you join any company, do not go and start telling them, do you people have this kind of documents? Because I created it and I gave it a name myself. So it's for personal teaching. Is that if you're having such conception, I think I want to use this medium to address it. So, and the sequence of activity
Thank
is
you very
based on my personal judgment. It's not based on PMI, because I believe that people wrote PMI, and all these textbooks we are using, people write them, and everybody is based on their experience over the years they put together, and some experience might have get obsolete. So we continue to come with our ideas, concepts. That's what continuous improvements on the system. Any of you can come up tomorrow to improve what we are doing, and is acceptable. So, Auntie Augustine.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
I would like to ask questions on some clarification on some of the application to put down some of the documentation. You have taught us draw.io, and then in the stakeholder analysis, some people try to create something which has been very good to some of us who are beginners. So I would also like, as you teach us, as you show us some of these documents, like the term you coined for our personal use, the project activity sequence document, that you mentioned some of the applications you use in creating them, so that in our spare time we can try our hands and see whether we can learn how to use them. Thank you.
Okay. We are still teaching on documentation. So every document we teach, we are going to teach on the tool to use. But what we are trying to say is, like, maybe in another column, to capture tools that are necessary to creating those documents or carrying out that activity. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, that is what I'm asking. Like this project activity sequence document, I didn't know whether you created it with Excel or draw.io, or if you show us the document and you can mention what you use in creating them, and I think it will help us to maybe
Okay, no
in our
problem.
spare
No,
time to try our hand.
I will try to update the documents so that I'll capture tools that can be used within such activity.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you for your observation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Eze Onyekachi. Okay, seems Onyekachi is not here. Let's give Temi the opportunity to talk.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, I just want to ask a question based on the last class on stakeholder analysis.
Okay.
Yes, and my question is that in a situation whereby you are working remotely and while you want to carry out your stakeholder analysis, you are unable to, since you are working remotely, you can't see your stakeholders, you are not familiar with the environment. Let's say someone working in Nigeria and there's a project going on in Canada or outside of Nigeria, and you are not familiar with the environment and others. So how will you be able to capture a correct and perfect stakeholder analysis when you are working remotely as a project manager?
Of course, working remotely will not stop you from capturing your stakeholders. When you talk about a project, we know people that are might have interest in that project. You know, for instance, let's say I'll use CRM system because we use it a lot. You are here in Upwork and the company hired you as a project manager to help them in the implementation of a CRM system. Who hired you need to give you a list of people you need to work with. If it's a HR that hired you, hiring manager, the HR at some point or during the interview, the project sponsor need to join you people and you need to introduce you to the project sponsor. And the project sponsor will tell you what he wants when you're hired. So you have to meet the project sponsor and they will schedule meeting for you to meet the important people. There's what we call onboarding. During the onboarding, they will tell you everything you need to know, all the people you need to know. They'll give you a full pack, a full kit, project kit, everything you need to know, both stakeholders. So, and their emails and the roles, what they need to do if you are working. So, in this case, you already know your stakeholders. If you have more, if you need more clarification, they will tell you your line manager whom you need to report to. You call your line manager and ask for information. So what are you saying? You can remotely. I've been working, all of us work remotely. Am I not working remotely with you? In this project, in this boot camp, is it not a project? So
Yes.
if you want information, what stops you from calling me to ask me what you need or tell me who is involved in this project? So I don't see that as any barrier, as a big deal.
Okay, I get that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for your patience. And I think we've captured everybody that got something to say. And tomorrow we'll continue with our normal business. We'll continue to dissect all this. We've been dissecting them, but I don't want some of these things to come to you like you might not know what you are going to. You know all the activities, and you know now that some of you that are so much scared of documentation, we do a lot of documentation in project management. So if it's not your team, it's up to you. But it's very, very important you have a good visibility of activities. That's the main purpose of what I've just said. And that's it. And what again? We're going to start our project very soon. So that is another thing I want to. So as soon as we finish project plan, I want to make sure that everybody know how to create project plan. Once that is done, we can start our first project. So that's it. So prepare yourself. Tomorrow we start project plan, and it's going to be a bit technical, and because we're going to use project labor. So, but let me not be preempting what we're going to do tomorrow again. So that's it. EO Donko. Well, after you, we call it a night.
Yeah, thank you very much for all the hard work you are doing. I love your patience. My problem is I'm not in Nigeria, and the grouping that you gave, I don't know where to group myself. Is there any way you can help me?
Okay, well, I think we've said, are you not a Nigerian?
No, I'm a Ghanaian.
Okay. You've not heard about any state in Nigeria?
I only know of Lagos.
Okay, you can choose Lagos then.
Okay.
You can choose Lagos or you can choose Abuja. So any of these, Abuja is, I don't think anybody who knows Nigeria must know Abuja, and some might equally know Lagos. But any of these places, you can choose any of them. It's just for you to have a group, and then you can be working remotely with those people. You know, if I put outside Nigeria, I tried to put it before in the last project, but I didn't see any significance. They feel a bit detached from the project, you know, and we try a lot of things and see the way it work out. That's what we're doing. So the last one I created, I specifically created for people outside Nigeria, which didn't, I can't see any value from that. So most of them are a bit outside of what we are doing. So what they need, so they have to be, I want them to feel the project they are working with. Because if I merge you are in Canada and the other person is in London, and I say, okay, people outside Nigeria, the person in Canada and the person in London, I put them in one group. What is the significance? Both of them are still going to be working remotely in order to meet. Yeah. So why not work remotely with people in Nigeria where the project is domesticated and make you feel more connected with the people and the project? Because if I connect you with somebody in London, both of you will be a bit hanged, you know? Yeah. So when we are working on a project in London, then we know that that project is in London. Some people that might join from Nigeria, they will be working remotely for that project in London. I have so many projects, London-based projects coming up, you know? So, because a lot of people are requesting for their domesticated, I had them, but so many of them do not because of price of this one, and that's the issue there. But that is the answer to your question. So you join Lagos or you join Abuja, whichever one. If you don't, we have Rivers, we have Enugu, we have Delta, we have, so any of these, if maybe you don't like any of the name, you don't like Abuja or Lagos, we have Rivers, you can like the name Rivers. We have Oyo, we have Ogun, we have Sokoto. These are various states in Nigeria, and all these places are fantastic places in Nigeria. Are they not fantastic people?
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Yeah, including Anambra.
With the current economic situation, I don't think.
Okay, you can see there. You can see they are inviting you to their states, so you can reach out to EO Donko to convince him to join your state. If so, that's it, man. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
No, don't go, Charlie. I be now.
What you said?